Hi there, I'm Jacque Maribe and you're watching True Love Exclusive with Carole Mandi.
Hi, and welcome to True Love Exclusive. My name is Carole Mandi, and today we are speaking to the lovely, intelligent, beautiful, fabulous, inspiring Jacque Maribe. Jacque Maribe, welcome.
Thank you so much, Carole, for having me. What an introduction.
What an introduction. No, but it's true. I mean, you're on the cover of the October issue of True Love magazine.
Finally.
Which is it finally?
It is finally.
Do you feel like
Mama, I made it. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Mama, I made it.
Mama made it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we were just so happy to have you, and it was such a beautiful shoot.
Yes.
But also just for you to share your story. You know, I think one of the things when I think about you, I think of the term beauty with brains.
Wow.
And I was saying to my daughters the other day, I was saying, you know, a lot of times when people see a beautiful woman, they don't expect her to be brilliant or clever.
Absolutely.
But you prove them wrong with everything that you've done. So let's begin at the beginning.
Yes.
Somewhere. Your life was like and has been like a shooting star. You know, from the time you were very young, you were in high school, acting in The Constant Gardener.
Yes. Oh, wow.
That was
an experience. Yes, it was. In Form 3, actually, I think. It was Form 3 or Form 4? Form 3. And I meet these people that I hadn't even appreciated who they were at the time because I was young. I'm doing a Hollywood movie, but now shot in Kenya. The likes of Ralph Fiennes, Rachel Weisz. I had Lupita Nyong'o as my chaperone. You come to realize it later and you're like, wow.
Were they spending time with you? I mean, these are Hollywood celebrities.
They are amazing people.
So
like you meet them in real life, and then I kind of looked like I was the baby on set, So they would always come and make sure when you're getting your makeup done, are you okay?
Oh, wow.
Are they taking care of you? Have you had something to eat? They were lovely people.
So now let's talk about you enter. Now you're no longer acting. You go ahead and you finish high school, and the story is all told in the True Love magazine, so make sure you get your copy of the October issue.
Yes.
So you finish high school, go on to university, take up journalism.
Yes.
And what was the idea? What was the plan? What was when I grow up, I want to be doing?
Initially, it was actually 3 things for me. Of course, every parent wants you to either be a doctor or a lawyer or a pilot. So I thought I would do law. That was the initial plan. But when I was in high school, I was really fascinated by being in the drama club. And clearly from The Constant Gardener, it opened up some doors for me that now I started thinking, maybe I should go into film. Then I was very good in public speaking all the way from primary school. I was so tiny, Carole.
Wow.
I was so tiny. I used to feel like people would never even see me at assembly, Ukombele, because I was so small, but mouth.
Yes, you could talk.
I could talk. Debate club, public speaking. You remember doing those poems,
yes,
for syndicators and whatever?
Yes.
So I was really good in that as well. And I thought, maybe then I should just, instead of acting, let me get real life stories from people.
Yes.
And that is where now I started considering, let me do journalism.
Yes.
And in the beginning, I really didn't want to actually be the face, be an anchor, do what you're doing now. I wanted to be the person behind. Listen to people's stories and tell their stories. So that's where it came from for me. But then when I was still in school, when I started interning, I started at K24. And I loved history, and I loved governance, and I loved current affairs. So within like the first month, when you're being asked, what would you want to specialize in? I said politics. And at the time, my boss looks at me, and I'm an intern, I've not finished a month, and my editor looks at me and says, you're a woman. Why would you want to specialize in politics? This was around 2008, beginning of 2008.
Because I asked that just so that to put context
Yes.
that we still have so much far to go as women.
Exactly.
When someone asks you,
Yes.
as a woman, why would you
Why
want
would you want to do
this
politics?
job?
And I'm a very young girl at the time. And you know, we're coming straight. In fact, it was that time when we were going through a rough time as a country. And I think that also hit home for me. And I was like, no, we need to tell these stories. We need to inform the masses. And I'm told, but you're a woman. Why would you want to go into politics? Go do things like education, go do health, go tell feature stories. Basically, what we call them in the newsroom are these voyeur stories.
Soft stories.
Soft stories.
Yes.
These are the difficult things like sports, like business, like politics are reserved for the men.
Yeah.
And I think it just triggered something in me as
It
young
made
as
you
I was.
angry.
It made me so mad.
You were like, I want to do it.
This is not what
Because
I'm
you're
going to
telling
do
me no.
because you're telling me not to. You know, this is what I want to do, and that's how the journey started. And it's a funny story how I ended up interviewing the president. I was expecting, I think immediately after we got from campaigns, when you take some time off and you're like, I have worked too hard. Who am I working for? Let me get a baby. And when I was it was my last assignment before I proceeded on maternity leave, I get a call.
Yes.
And I'm told, hi, I haven't been seeing you in a while, so I hear good things are coming, good tidings, yes. Then come do an interview before you go.
So
And
this is the president calling you?
Directly.
Like the president called you?
Yes.
Wow.
Directly.
He has your mobile
He
number.
has my mobile number. He has to.
And it doesn't go through other people, it comes
No.
direct to you.
No, and,
Wow.
and it was bittersweet. It was good, yes, because it was a good working relationship.
Yes.
But it was difficult because I have bosses.
Yes. And
Because-
everybody's like, why her?
Why her? And then at the time, because I remember when I went to tell my boss that we've been offered the first ever interview, Carole, it was hard. Like, why you? And I remember being told, no, it's okay, that's good.
Someone else will do it.
Someone else is going to do it.
You were like, no, my story.
Yeah, I have been offered the interview. And at that point, again, I got angry. I'm like, why? Is it because I'm a woman? Is it because I'm heavy and so you think I'm not up to the task? Why is it? And it actually brought a bit of tension because later I had to now get back to the president and tell him, unfortunately, I'm not the one who's going to do it. He said, then there's no interview.
Are you
It
serious?
was that bad.
Wow.
It was that bad. And what that did for me was getting the maiden interview. And so heavy at that point, and saying that, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Someone else has to do it. And in fact, it's a man who has to do it. And him saying, no.
It's
called
you or you.
Yeah. If you're not coming to do it, then there's not going to be an interview.
Wow.
And I think I finally opened up and got to a realization that, wait, there are people who actually recognize us now as strong, abled women in a world full of sharks, a pack of wolves, which is called politics, that no, you do it.
Yes.
Why does it have to be somebody else, and especially a man who has to come and do
Yes.
it? Long story short, we both went anyway. So I did my part of the interview, my colleague did his part of the interview, and we moved on from there. And so I kept now doing all the subsequent interviews after that.
Yeah, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
That was amazing.
It was
I remember
empowering.
watching.
Yeah.
I remember watching that interview, and you were so young, and I was thinking, wow,
you
look
know,
at her.
I was,
You
how
know,
old was I?
so
Maybe-
proud
Yeah.
of you. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and all the while you're trying to be serious in an interview, and the head of state is telling you, "Are you okay to walk?" You know?
Let's
And
not have a baby right
exactly
now.
here on the lawns, which would have been good
Of State
anyway.
House.
It would have been good.
After that, you had your baby.
Yes.
And of course, it was difficult having your baby, being a brand new mom, covering elections and staying away from your son. But you said in the True Love interview that you were not sure that you would ever become a mom.
Yes.
Why was that?
Wow, this is a story I've actually never told. So this is actually
Oh my
True
goodness.
Love exclusive.
Great.
I know. No, but I think it's important to speak about it. I had almost gotten a baby before, but I got a miscarriage.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you. It was tough at the time because it was all so new to me. Then we tried again, second miscarriage, and we hadn't known what was going on. So our doctor said, no, we have to probe further. Then they discovered I have this thing they called like a septum, a septate uterus, where basically like the uterus has to be this whole space, but mine had like a wall in between. So we realized that the problem was either, the baby would either be implanted on this side or on this side, and as they grow, the wall doesn't move.
Yeah.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
So now it causes a miscarriage. So we were lucky we found out early. So I was told I have to have this surgery, to get rid of it and then give ourselves a period of time and wait. And now the baby would have at least enough space. You could carry all the way to maybe 30 something weeks. You don't have to get to 40.
Yeah.
And I remember I panicked and I said, I'm not going to do this. So it took a while. I can't remember how many years that was, but it took a while. And I remember every day I used to pray and I said, listen, God, what is too hard for you? I don't have to have this surgery. If you want, you can, that thing, make it elastic by, I don't know, whatever miracle, but just make it elastic. Just make it move, create space. But we're going to do this thing. And so that was in 2013. I remember I got sick, and I was in South Africa at the time, and I'd gone on assignment, and I got so sick, and my colleague told me, the way guys will just,
Are you pregnant?
Are you pregnant? And I'm like, stop it. I know I can't be. And then I come back home, and I'm so sick. I was genuinely sick. So I went to the hospital, and they said, okay, we're going to do all these kinds of tests. Then the doctor comes in and says, congratulations. I'm like, what?
Wow, without having the surgery.
Yes.
So your son is a miracle. He's a miracle baby.
He is a miracle baby. And I remember I said the first 3 people I would tell were my mother. I wasn't even sure about telling the baby daddy, to be honest, at the time. And my sister who lived in Dubai.
Yeah.
And we eventually, after the baby came, now we had that surgery. So I was told, you can go have now your 6 children if you want. Just
Do you still want more children?
One more.
One more. Okay, and your son is so good looking.
Thank you.
Zahari.
He's called Zahari.
Which
it means
means
God has remembered.
Wow.
And literally God had remembered me. So
Wow.
it's a very personal name. We have a very personal relationship.
Yeah.
He makes me happy.
Yeah, he does. He does. And now, obviously, baby daddy, who is
Why?
Jackie's baby daddy. So the stories start coming out.
Exactly.
And I think at one point, Eric, who has
Yes.
now since come and said he's a
Yes.
baby daddy,
Yes.
said he wasn't
Yes.
the father of the child.
Yes.
So what was going on in that? Was it something you guys agreed?
No.
Or what were you doing?
We hadn't agreed on that. I think it's just him. I sometimes I don't know what's wrong with our men. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I think it's something I wanted, and it's not a space that he was at
Yeah.
the time.
Was the baby
Feelings.
the reason why the relationship ended at that point?
Not entirely. I think we were both at very different places in our lives. Eric is my friend to date, so I wouldn't want to speak ill of him, but he wasn't at a space where we were having a serious relationship.
Okay.
I think I had matured beyond his expectations. Now we're having a baby. He still wants to, have that, all the girls and the groupies and the whatever.
And he was also blowing up. His career was also
it
taking
was
off.
really blowing up,
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, Carole, the truth, like we'd go places and girls would literally come, we sat together and literally ignore me and come like this and say, hey, hi. I'm like, yo, I'm not about to do this.
What?
No, we're not doing this. He would be respectful enough to say, hey, sorry, say hi to my girlfriend,
Yes.
But in his industry as well, we're all in, entertainment, or so to speak. But for them in the arts, I think I was really tying him down,
Yes.
being in a serious relationship. I think he still needed to explore. And like you're saying, his star was now literally busting and shining.
Yeah.
So I think, and then now the baby situation comes and I say, no, this is what I want for myself. I don't want a situation where you look like you're being forced into something that you don't want. And we agreed to go our separate ways, but remain friends.
And you know, it's interesting because a lot of young women are watching this interview and they've been in situations like that.
Yes.
Where, you know, the baby daddy, you know, takes off. No, that's not. Disentangles himself. That's not my baby. And it's a very painful place.
It is.
To be at because you created this life together.
Yes.
So what would you say to that woman? How does she manage herself and still be sane enough to raise her child on her own?
I always say we're the ones who carry these kids in our wombs. We're the ones who go through these 9 months. Every dad has a right, you know, to be in the kid's life if they want. But this is your child. You're the one who felt every kick. You're the one, you know, who went through labor. If you went through labor or you went through CS, you had to take all those 6 weeks to heal. This is your child. The only person who will ever hear your heartbeat from within. So don't take it to heart. If he doesn't want to be there, respectfully just let it go.
Never say never.
Never say never.
Never say never. Would you ever see yourself going back with Eric?
No.
No. Okay, that ship sailed.
Absolutely.
That ship sailed, so you'll just keep the friendship and raise
We will
your
keep
son.
the friendship.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it though, to be honest.
Yeah.
He doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
I think actually a few days ago he made a joke and said, you know, you're single, I'm single, we're meant to be single so that one day we'll just... I'm like, yo, bro. No.
Been there, done that.
No. That ship sailed.
That ship sailed. That ship
I
sailed.
think I came to know another side of him, and I think our friendship, I keep telling him we kind of messed up crossing the line. We were very good friends from the beginning. I don't know why we thought, oh, maybe it could work. But then if we were able to collect ourselves again and become friends, I don't think I would ever cross that line again.
Okay. So Jackie, let's now talk about the elephant in the room.
Okay.
You know, your life was amazing. You had established yourself as a political journalist, a seasoned political journalist. You had so many firsts to your name. And then 2018, you got into a relationship with a young man, and, you know, and then there was a murder. And I recognize that the matter is still in court, so there's not much we can discuss around it, but there is some things you can talk about. And even as we are respectful to the fact that there was a young woman whose life was lost in all of this. So for many women, you know, there's that one man you meet and then life goes south. You know, so people can identify with that. Was this that relationship for you?
It actually was. And we met while on the job. And it was someone who some of my friends actually knew. And I, you know, how you ladies, you know, will just ask Allah, who's your friend, you know.
And you actually got engaged.
And we got engaged. And he was very nice. He genuinely was. I will never come out and say anything to the contrary. He was very nice to me. But, and I think this is why it's important to first learn somebody before you rush into something like this, because I do believe it was rushed.
How long had you dated?
A year.
1 year?
Yeah.
Before the engagement?
Yes.
Okay.
Genuinely, like literally a year.
Did you feel that though that you knew him?
At the time, yeah. And I think I'd gotten to a point in my life I was just, you know what? Other people get engaged after 6 months.
I'm ready.
Yeah. And I thought at the time we were ready. And he wasn't a guy who would like give me too much pressure because I used to work a lot as well. And I thought, oh, maybe I found somebody who finally understands the kind of woman that, you know, is passionate about her career, passionate about her hours, passionate about being a mother, and you have now a partner who will understand that, because it's very hard even for us in the industry.
That's true.
It's very hard to get a partner who will understand. And that's why people intermarry within the industry. But, you know, without getting into the details of the case, because we have a gag order, everything was going so well, Carole. So well. I wouldn't say, oh, mama, I had made it, you know, but it was, my career path was good. Undeniably good. Until one day, something just, you know, I keep saying time stood still.
Time stood still. Did it feel like a horror movie?
It
Suddenly
still
you're in
is
a horror movie.
Yes.
And you want to press rewind and go back like a week before.
Yes.
And change
even
the
just
script.
a day before.
Yeah.
Even just like hours before.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah.
You know, you're basically zombified.
Yeah.
You're trying to look around. Everyone is talking in your ear. You know, there's so much commotion. There's, you know, of course, the police, your family, your friends. Everyone is trying to, and you can hear, all you hear is noise.
Yeah.
You can't understand what anyone is saying. Mara, you're seeing your name is everywhere. Mara, and you're like.
So from covering the news, now you are the
being
news.
the news.
Now you're the news.
I saw myself, you know, on the headlines in newspapers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is happening? And then these are your colleagues who, you
are
know,
writing the stories.
are writing the stories about you. And some, I will say, without getting into the case, some were outright falsehoods. And you're like, these are the colleagues that, you know, I'm supposed to respect and work with. And I'll get to that because that is one of the reasons I said I don't think I would really want to be in a newsroom any longer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, time literally just stood still for me. And
then there was the madness. You're going into police cells.
Yes.
I think you were in.
Yes, I was.
For how many days?
17 days. 17, 18 days.
17, 18 days.
Yes. Langata Women's
Prison.
Yes. And
what was that like?
It was tough. It was really, really tough. However, I know there's a lot that is said about our prison system, but I always appreciate everything I go through. If I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have seen what happens there. You get to meet so many women who genuinely, you can even tell from looking at their faces, are there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
People who probably are there for situations like mine because their spouse has been mentioned somewhere, or their partners have been mentioned somewhere, or their family members.
Yeah.
And
you were just at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong person.
Absolutely
and you
not.
end up in prison.
You know, you find people who've been picked up from their homes because their names have been linked to someone who was probably in a very different state or a different whatever. And I met a lot of beautiful women in there, and I came to get an appreciation of what they go through. So, well, I wouldn't want to go back, obviously, but I think it was important for me to go through that process and to learn what the other side is going through. You know, dealing with politicians, let's be honest, you're dealing with high rollers, people with these cars. And now you're going here and meeting a very different set of people, and you interact with them. And, you know, sometimes I used to laugh it off, like they would act like, Atika, unajua ni celebrity, tuwezi ongea naye. Naambia kikuja nishuke matuta. Come we do this. We bonded, by the way.
Wow.
Because that's remand, you know, you've not been convicted of anything. And you get a newer appreciation of it. And some, you know, would share stories and go like, I've also been in a situation like this over my spouse or over, you know, or some would even tell you, you know, I just had a moment of madness and this happened to me. So you get to hear a lot of stories. And as a journalist as well, and as a human being, but as a journalist
You're
as
so
well,
curious
I was so
about
curious
people's
to
stories.
find out. Yeah. But back to initial question, you know, that this man was that person for me. The one that you feel like, if I ever had any regrets, this is it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in regrets, but if regret was a person, then that would be it.
That would be it.
Me, yeah. I don't like to speak about him because sometimes I feel like if you want to speak your truth, people come and judge you and say, oh, you're still bitter. You know, I saw now he has moved on, so people are going to talk and say, oh, why are you talking about him? I just don't talk about him because I don't want to talk about him.
Yeah.
And out of sheer respect for him moving on with his life and whatever. And I think everyone would now, where we are, we charter our own paths. I want to correct the fact that he said we broke up while he was still inside. We'd broken up.
You broke up?
Let's be honest.
You'd broken up before?
We'd broken up before.
Okay.
So let's be honest about it.
I think even the body language when you were
in court,
was very
shows.
clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it had happened before, and let's be honest about it. But he's not someone I would, mudsling or anything. And this is a story we will do a True Love exclusive with once the case is over and done with, because I think it's important that people, find out the truth from the horse's mouth instead of, I've had so many different versions of this story. We respect the fact that this is an active murder case, and by murder, somebody lost their lives. But it's something I think we will talk about when the case is right.
Now tell me, you're in remand. What are some of the things you're thinking about? I miss most.
For me, I'd say my son. And it used to keep me awake every night. I would cry every night. I couldn't sleep. But at least there you can read your books, you can keep busy. But you know how you try to sleep at night, and I'm like, God, what is Zahari thinking right now? Where is he? Of course,
was he with your family?
He was with my family, and luckily, again, because of my work, because I used to travel for long periods of time, he just used to be told, Mommy has traveled, she'll be back. But I think that is what's really kept me awake at night. I did miss good food.
You did miss good food?
I did miss good food.
Warm showers?
I did miss people. I did miss, and I just wanted my son around.
Yeah, and here you are.
And here we are.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Who supported you? Because you did allude to the fact that a lot of people were not supportive, particularly some of your colleagues who are covering you anyway now. But who are the people who stood by you?
My family, to begin with. Like, I owe them everything. My dad, I think, has become such a beacon of hope for many people who have slid into my DMs, people who didn't even know me, people who even saw him in court and used to come to Langata, not to see me, to see him.
Yes.
Because they're like, how do you stand by your daughter like that?
Yeah.
My mother is the prayer warrior of our family. And she has never ceased to date to pray. My sisters, they never let go. They never once turned their backs on me. They never once questioned my guilt or my innocence. They said, you're ours. We stand by you. A lot of my friends didn't want to be associated. People who I really thought I was very close to. Some even I heard I didn't see them, I heard did public statements, disassociating themselves from me. People who we have been seen being on holiday with, being told we're squad goals, things like that. I will be very honest with you. I have like 2 female friends to date who stood by me from the beginning to date. I think 90% now of the rest of my friends, if they're genuine friends, are guys. But now you come to learn who your circle is. And I don't want to say I lost many friends.
You didn't lose them because they were not friends.
They were not friends.
Yeah.
I just gained true ones.
Yeah.
Finally,
now we're coming to the end of our interview, and this is the comeback interview.
Yes.
Jacque Maribe's comeback story.
Comeback.
Yes. So you have a new show.
Yes.
Called The Hot Seat. So what was the inspiration behind that?
The hot seat. When I left Citizen TV in 2019, I wanted to take like a whole year before I could get back into that space. So during that sabbatical, COVID happened. When COVID happened, I think we very quickly realized we have to do this digital thing now.
Yes.
We're just finishing the first season actually.
Wow.
Yeah, can you believe it? We are even in shock. We didn't expect the kind of reception we got. Yeah?
Yes.
We're so happy.
Oh, well, I'm
We're
looking
so
forward
happy.
to just seeing more of it, especially as we go into the election.
Exactly. Oh, we're here.
Yeah.
We will be
Keep
here.
them to account.
Exactly.
Yeah. So now, tell me, are you dating?
Carole. Hii swali munatuanga wapi?
Hizi swali lazima tuulize. Are you dating?
I am enjoying the single life.
You're enjoying the single life?
Yes.
No entanglements for now?
No entanglements.
Okay, but if you
It's
were...
too much work.
It is. But if you were, what kind of man would he be?
He'd have to be my friend. He'd really first have to be my friend.
Yeah.
I believe in dating your friend nowadays. I think I've had a very different picture of it. He would have to be someone who aspires for the same things as I do.
Yeah.
Someone who is willing to be a partner, not domineering. I know, sometimes they say, women like us, we'll come into the house and start acting like we're still at work, leave your job at the door. But be my partner. Let's build each other,
True.
Someone who I think will also just see me, not see the Jacque Maribe of the hot seat, or the Jacque Maribe who was a TV anchor, the Jacque Maribe who does politics. Just me. Sometimes we just want to be seen for who we are.
Yeah.
And I think I really believe in dating a friend. As of now, I'd love to say I plead the fifth.
We will keep watching.
No.
We will watch this.
No, but
space.
I am happily single.
You're happily single.
Happy for now.
Yeah.
Happily single.
Happily single.
I wouldn't close that chapter completely. I believe there's someone for everyone.
Yes.
You don't have to die alone. But now I am on self-love. I'm on a journey of self-love.
Awesome.
And I'm totally loving
and
it.
I'm loving that.
Thank
and to conclude, we conclude
Yes.
with something you said in the True Love interview, where you said sometimes you have to lose yourself to learn to love yourself.
Absolutely. Yes.
And let me ask you, what have you learned? What else have you learned?
I have
Maybe
learned,
two things.
Yeah, Carole, I have learned that sometimes you can want to be a really good person and people will take advantage of that. You can be too trustworthy and people will take advantage of that. But you don't have to lose sight of that. If you're generally a good person and you fall down, you should be able to know how to pick yourself up again.
Yeah.
Don't be downtrodden. Don't let people walk all over you. If you go through the fire, surely rise up. Like a phoenix from the ashes rise. Don't be ash that will be blown away by the wind or into the ocean. And sometimes just accept that things happen in life. It doesn't have to be rosy. Lose yourself. That's what lose yourself to learn how to love yourself. Because once you start by loving yourself, and that's what I'm telling you, I'm on a journey of self-love. You start to appreciate the finer things in life, which is respect for family, respect for yourself, respect for what you do as a career. But you have to be willing to fall down.
Yeah.
Nobody ever starts from up. You have to be willing to climb that mountain from chimney to the peak, so that you're able to get the beautiful sight of below.
Yeah.
But you have to accept to lose yourself.
Yeah.
Then and only then can you learn to
you
love yourself.
Love yourself and find yourself.
Yes.
Another thing that you said, and this you're just so oozing with wisdom.
Yes. Oh,
in
thank
this
you.
interview, is that you can begin again, regardless
can.
of where you've been or what has happened.
You actually,
you can begin again.
You actually
And I
can
think-
begin again.
yeah.
And I think that's the problem that some of us really have. When you feel like you're hitting a brick wall, and you have to deal with depression, and everyone will look at you different. Start all over again. You
Start
can
again.
be a millionaire and you lose it all, Start.
Start.
You have to start all over again, because even to get to where you are, you started from somewhere, right? Don't be afraid to begin.
Thank you, Jackie.
You're so welcome.
Such inspiring words.
Thank you.
I just wish you all the best as you go on with the hot seat.
Thank you so
Our
much.
love to Zahari.
Oh, yes,
and it was
definitely.
an awesome pleasure having you
Thank
on
you.
True Love Magazine and of
Uh-huh.
course on True Love Exclusive.
Oh, I am
And then we are
so
waiting for the
honored.
final
Uh-huh.
exclusive
Uh-huh.
when
Oh, that's when it's
the court case is behind us.
Oh, definitely. And we really hope it will be soon.
It
Corona
will.
has to end.
It will be.
It will be.
God is on your side.
Yes?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Carole, for having me.
Thank you so
Such
much.
an awesome pleasure.
Thank you.
And Mama, I made it. They have to get a copy.
Get
Yeah?
a copy. Make sure you get a copy. And so there you have it. You've had it from Jackie. Regardless of the setbacks that you've had in your life, they're just setting you up for a comeback. You can begin again. Until next time, I'm Carole Mandi. Take care and God bless.